DeepSeek. Hello, who are you? Why is everyone around the world making such a fuss about this? It's just another new AI model, DeepSeek from China, developed for less than $6 million, but it works just like ChatGPT, okay? And it's not even some huge project from China. It's just a side project from a Chinese startup that took only 2 months of tinkering to finish. And this phenomenon, let me go ahead and give it a name, the whoa, wait a minute, global phenomenon. Because up until now, everyone thought the same thing, right? That the United States is the #1 country for innovation in the world, unmatched by anyone, and that developing an AI would require an enormous amount of funding, like hundreds of billions of US dollars. And developing AI is supposed to be incredibly difficult. It takes time, effort, and all sorts of resources. But when DeepSeek showed up, it became a phenomenon that made the whole world shout out together, "Whoa, wait a minute. This isn't what we were told at all." Support the creation of the "whoa, wait a minute" phenomenon data about the appearance of GPT in the most exciting and super easy way, Money Monster channel style, by scanning this QR code right here. Or just hit subscribe for us. That would make us really happy. Thank you so much. AI is a huge, massive deal, you know? Ever since the very first day Donald Trump became president, he announced that he would support American AI under the name AI Stargate, giving it a funding boost of $500 billion right off the bat. But China also had some pretty slick timing, because just 1 day after Donald Trump officially set foot in the White House as President of the United States, China launched DeepSeek AI right away. That's how China rolled. AI startup with $500 billion in funding support? Come on. I made DeepSeek over $5 million in just 2 months, finished and released for everyone to use for free, just like that. This move has made the whole world, especially investors, start questioning whether the US is still #1 in innovation, especially in AI. And this doubt was reflected on the NASDAQ 100. You could see that in just 1 day, when DeepSeek was released, the NASDAQ 100 lost $1 trillion in market value. And the company that took the hardest hit was Nvidia. Its market value dropped in just 1 day, down 14%, which amounts to $600 billion. This was followed by a bloodbath among several other US tech stocks. The people who probably have the most reason to scream are those paying for ChatGPT subscriptions from OpenAI, because even the name doesn't match the reality. The name says open, but in truth, it's actually closed source. Only certain people can use it. To use the advanced features, you have to pay a subscription fee or a monthly fee of $200, which is about 7,000 baht. This group has even more reason to scream because DeepSeek has launched and offers similar functionality, but for free. But it wouldn't be entirely fair to criticize Sam Altman of OpenAI for charging such high monthly fees, because, to be honest, they have huge expenses. OpenAI has already spent over $100 million to train its AI. They still need to add more funding, about $5 billion US per year. Meanwhile, DeepSeek only spent $5.6 million to train its AI. Just in terms of cost, that's already over 90% cheaper than OpenAI. Plus, Lian Wangfeng, the developer of DeepSeek, only took 2 months to develop it, and it was ready to use right away. But DeepSeek's success, which has exceeded expectations this time, seems to have put OpenAI in. Microsoft isn't going to just let this slide, because recently OpenAI came out and announced that they have evidence that China, or DeepSeek, used OpenAI's model to develop DeepSeek, which is not allowed. We'll have to keep an eye on this to see what happens, if there are any lawsuits or legal actions, and where it will all end up. If we look at previous cases OpenAI has faced, whether it's copyright infringement, copying, or various other issues, including with Elon Musk, India, and CA, or with other cases that have happened before, it might seem like they're over and done with. But over time, if you've been following financial news, you'll know that the United States has been imposing semiconductor bans on China in a pretty intense way. It's really been on a grand scale. So the question that comes up is, well, what is DeepSeek built on? Because training AI always requires chips. But the US has consistently banned semiconductor brands and chips from being sold to China. They've even told their allies not to sell chips to China. But oh wow, in the end, DeepSeek still uses chips from Nvidia. Yes, Nvidia, the American chip manufacturer. That's right, DeepSeek uses Nvidia chips, up to 50,000 units. Whoa, didn't the Biden administration say they banned them? How come there are so many available? I came across a video clip from a Chinese AI influencer. She made an unboxing video of Nvidia chips. She actually opened them up on camera to show that, yep, these Nvidia chips from America have arrived. She also said that, yeah, some friends asked her if this wasn't illegal, but she replied like this: it's illegal under American law. Trump is probably annoyed about this too. Let's listen to the audio in the clip. What this specific section essentially implies for the industry is that the comprehensive trade sanctions and the strict export embargo currently placed on the semiconductor manufacturing sector within China are designed to significantly limit their technological advancement. This isn't the outcome we wanted. If we were Donald Trump, we'd severely penalize the people who let American chips find their way to China like that. Make them stand at the front of the class holding a ruler. Just kidding. So the next question is, if China continues to rely heavily on Nvidia chips and hasn't developed its own advanced chips yet, then the real question we have to ask is, why did the Nasdaq's value drop by as much as $1 trillion? And what's even more puzzling is, among all the companies that experienced a massive decline in market value that day, why did Nvidia's stock fall the most, losing $600 billion in a single day? The surprising answer to all of this is DeepSeek, an AI solution or a new way to solve problems that can make AI training require fewer chips. DeepSeek uses 30 times fewer GPUs. This means DeepSeek is showing the world that high-performance AI doesn't necessarily need a huge number of chips. And if China shares the knowledge and information about this AI solution, showing that high-quality AI doesn't need a lot of chips, if other companies get access to it, those companies will also need fewer chips to develop AI. So it's possible that Nvidia might receive fewer chip orders from AI companies around the world, which is why their stock dropped so much. Now you can see why Nvidia's stock fell so sharply. So the next question is, why did other tech companies' stocks also drop so much? Is there anything more substantial and concrete to explain this besides just saying, hey, people panicked, so the stocks dropped? Is there a more tangible explanation than just market panic? Absolutely. The concrete explanation is the cost price, because the production costs in China and the United States are vastly different and worlds apart. So there's a significant and very high probability that customers will switch from the expensive provider to the more affordable alternative. Or if we put it in terms of countries, it could mean that customers from the United States who used to pay more might switch over to Chinese AI companies. That's exactly why major American technology stocks experienced such a significant decline. Still not clear enough? About lower costs, higher costs, and how customers might switch providers. Come on. Here's what it looks like, okay? Based on the huge difference in costs between DeepSeek and OpenAI. According to data from R&D World, OpenAI charges $60 per 1 million tokens. How are tokens counted? Tokens are counted like this. For example, if you type into ChatGPT, "How are you?" with a question mark, that counts as 4 tokens, which means, "How are you?" and the question mark. Meanwhile, for DeepSeek, for 1 million tokens, if you compare the costs, it only costs 55 cents. So $60 versus 55 cents. Let me put it this way. Some people might still not see just how big the difference is, right? Let's say 1 million tokens costs $60, while 1 million tokens costs only 55 cents. In the US, when you actually use it in a real company, the difference is huge. Suppose your company needs to communicate with customers, right? Now, think about how many tokens you'd use in a single conversation. A customer messages, "Hello." You reply, "Hello, how can we help you?" The customer says, "I'd like this shirt. Can I get the price and available sizes?" The chatbot replies, "Sure, our shirts come in these colors and these sizes." The customer replies, "Okay, I want this color. Can I see more pictures of this color?" And that's just it. The chat isn't even finished yet. Imagine how many tokens you've already used. And that's not even counting if you have to deal with a customer who loves to complain. You'd need to send a whole apology message back. If we use this in an industrial setting, you can really see how the difference in cost becomes super important for the company. For example, let's say a company buys 10 million tokens. If you buy 10 million tokens from OpenAI, it would probably cost about $1 for one token, but 10 million Gypsy tokens would only cost $5.50. That's a 99% difference in cost between the two. If you were an entrepreneur, what would you choose? And if you ask, but DeepSeek is an AI, would Americans use it? Try listening to it. And after DeepSeek launched for just one day, you might wonder, do Americans use it? Well, let's take a look, because DeepSeek shot up to become the #1 application on the Play Store. Now, moving right along to our next point, if you're curious to know whether the specific way US tech stocks have been significantly shaken up and disrupted by DeepSeek has affected the broader stock market and the overall US economy, let's take a closer look at the total value and growth of these tech companies since ChatGPT was first launched for the public. That is, when AI officially and formally entered the market. That was back in 2023. Since the start of 2023, the NASDAQ index, which tracks these firms, which is home to US tech stocks, has risen. From 2023 to 2024 and into 2025, it has already gone up by 92%. In terms of money, that's a value of 14 trillion baht. And the tech stocks that have earned the nickname the Magnificent Seven or the Seven Angels are Apple, Alphabet or Google, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, Nvidia, and Tesla. These are the 7 companies that have been driving the S&P 500 to soar to new heights. In 2024, out of all the companies in the S&P 500, which are the 500 largest companies in the US, just these 7 companies alone accounted for 34.6% of the total share. That means the other 493 companies in the S&P 500 might as well take a nap, because these 7 tech giants already make up a third of the S&P 500. This clearly shows that the US economy, America in recent years, has been thriving and booming thanks to tech companies and high-tech innovation. The reason stock prices have risen so much is because people all over the world believe that the United States has innovation and technology that are second to none, truly #1 in the world. This is what makes the US economy so special compared to others. But with the arrival of DeepSeek, AI produced by China can be made at a much lower cost. And this completely overturns the main idea that everyone believed in. This has had a huge impact on US stock prices. So the next question that many investors want to know is, does this mean that US tech stocks are about to burst like a bubble? Is there a chance that they will? Is it a bubble? If you ask whether there's a chance of this happening, the answer could be both yes and no. But if we look at the numbers, here's some data from Bank of America. You'll see that the stock prices of the Magnificent Seven, according to Bank of America, are now overvalued by 2 to 3 times. And if you look here, the overvaluation, or the inflated value, compared to the past for the US tech market's overvaluation, today you can see that it's much higher than during the peak of the dot-com bubble. So does this mean investors should be really concerned about investing in US AI stocks? The answer has to be yes. For example, if you're someone investing in a US AI company and the company you've invested in says it needs to spend an enormous amount of money just to hopefully get some results in the future, and even then it's still uncertain, No matter what those results are or how much return they'll generate, the question is, how much money do these companies actually need? Let me share some information from JP.Morgan, which says that the 5 major US AI companies, whether it's Alphabet, Google, AWS from Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, or Oracle, have plans to invest in AI development. From 2024 through 2027, over the next 5 years, they plan to invest an additional $1 trillion. That means, on average, over 5 years, these companies will be spending up to $250 billion each year. This is something investors really need to think hard about, whether such massive investments will ultimately pay off and what the final results will be. But suddenly, today, DeepSeek from China, they only spent a total of $5.6 million, but it works just the same. So let me ask you, if you were an investor, where would you want to put your money? But if you ask, hey, is DeepSeek really that good? Is it really as great as they say? Well, that might not actually be entirely true, you know? The old saying, there's no such thing as a free lunch, still holds up. Recently, a tech security research company called V's came out and publicly revealed some startling news that any data from everyone who rushed to use DeepSeek has already been leaked out onto the open internet. So this is just another thing you'll have to carefully weigh and consider for yourself. So, is it actually any good? But anyway, DeepSeek is simply yet another new AI chatbot coming out of China. It is not going to destroy the United States economy or bring down the entire global economy overnight. It simply cannot do that. It is really just one of the many characters China is using to show off its impressive technological capabilities. I ended up spending only $5.6 million and just 2 months to bring this project to life and show it to the world. Next time, what should we try to compete in next?